Back in July at the Democratic National Convention, one of Hillary Clinton's surrogates, Neera Tanden, said that there was no need to cut the federal corporate tax rate from 35%, what is that currently. But Hillary Clinton may have another opinion on the matter. So WikiLeaks just released Hillary Clinton's transcripts from her Wall Street speeches. And in those speeches, it seems like Hillary Clinton does have another position. And this is detailed by an article on The Intercept. During an October 13, 2014 speech to the Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers, Clinton told the audience that a number of business leaders have been talking to my husband and me about an idea that would allow the repatriation of the couple $1 trillion that are out there. And you would get a lower tax rate, a really low rate, if you were willing to invest a percentage in an infrastructure bank. So it seems like Hillary Clinton is, she's trying to get that money back overseas right here in America, and, trying to do the multinational corporations a favor as well, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, because they're essentially holding that money hostage over there.
Yeah.
And I guess, that money, funneled back into our economy would be good for us.
It would.
She's trying to meet him. She's trying to meet him halfway. She's trying to come up with some sort of concession.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And putting a provision in place to, that they would have to meet so that that money comes back and gets taxed.
Is that a guarantee though?
She said, it would be a provision. It would be a provision. So, I guess they would have to do it for that money to come back and get taxed at a lower tax rate. Right? And there's trillions of dollars out there overseas. So, like I said, this is important.
Okay, that seems like a good idea. Mm-hmm. Theoretically it does. But right. Has that something like this been suggested before?
It's been put in place before.
Oh, okay.
It's been put in place before. So years ago, over a decade ago now, back in 2004, Congress allowed multinational corporations to bring back 312 million. No. Billion. 312 billion in profits back to the United States for only 5%.
Ooh, that's a good...
Not 35%, 5%.
But all right, that's a good deal. That is a great deal.
Yeah. Now, as a provision that they put in place for lowering that tax rate for them, they said that these multinational corporations would have to invest money in jobs, hiring Americans, and they would have to, fund research and development as well, spend money.
That's good. So they did that, right?
Who did what? Who did what?
They followed through with the provision. After they got that 5% tax rate, right?
No.
They didn't?
They didn't follow through. No.
Wow.
Actually, they cut about 20,000 jobs. A loss of net about 20,000 jobs, and they decreased spending on research and development.
Wow. So wait a second. You telling me they took advantage of that 5% rate? So they got the deal they wanted.
Yeah.
And they completely ignored the provisions. Not only did they ignore the provisions, mm-hmm. they actually cut the jobs.
Yeah, they cut the jobs and the research and development spending. Which was, that was a big part of the provisions. So
it was like, so you're saying the United States government got the shaft? They got played?
They got
got?
Yeah.
So it was like this one big psych.
Yep.
Got him.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. They got. They got shafted for the money, man. They let these corporations bring the money back for a lower interest rate. So just as long as they, adhere to these provisions,
but these
and
were
then they didn't.
But how effective is suggesting provisions or writing provisions in if there's no mechanism for enforcement?
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. So nothing happened. Nothing happened to him either.
No,
Nothing.
okay. They got the shaft.
They got the shaft.
All right, okay, let's check this out. Like let's say you owe money to the city, like a water bill, right? Mm-hmm. What happens when you get your tax return? They automatically take that money out.
Right.
Or if you don't pay enough taxes throughout the year, what happens? You get a tax bill.
Right.
There's a mechanism of enforcement that everybody kind of knows about. So after they got the shaft, after they took advantage of the deal, and didn't follow through with the provisions, not only that, they kind of like just gave him another like shot to the gut by saying we're gonna cut the jobs.
It was a big middle finger.
Yeah. So like, where was the consequences? Where were the consequences?
Where was the bite?
Where was the bite after they didn't follow the provisions?
It was all bark. There was nothing to it.
You know what? I think that's how it was supposed to be from the beginning. They wanted to make it look like they were going to do something. They said, "Look at what we're doing. We're going to repatriate this money and we're
bring it back to the economy.
Bring it back to the economy. Yeah. See, and they're going to do. We're going to do these things, and it doesn't happen. And to the American people, it makes it look like, oh, look at that. Like they tried, but
they tried, but they didn't enforce it. So how well did they try? And see, this is why. When Hillary Clinton, you see why Hillary Clinton didn't want these speeches to get out, right? Because think about it. She said you have to have a public and a private position. Well, her public position is, well, no, there's no reason to cut the federal corporate tax rate. But her private position is, well, yeah, we're going to cut that corporate tax rate for you just as long as you adhere to these provisions. But if you don't, well, we tried. We tried.
But like, what's the rationale behind like negotiating with like a crook to determine how much they're gonna keep? Because that's essentially what it is. They're negotiating with crooks. They are economic terrorists. Yes. And I thought we didn't negotiate with terrorists.
We don't negotiate with terrorists, right? But if they have a lot of money, if they have a lot of money, that's a totally different story.
Bad.
Yeah.